Let's play a game in which we go through all of the Bears starters, projected starters, I might add, for this upcoming season. And I tell you guys if I think they're overrated, underrated, or properly rated. So what is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, guys, please do hit that subscribe button down below. Would really appreciate it. That is the best way to support me on the channel, as I'm trying to pump out as much content for you guys as possible. We're in the dead time of the offseason, man. It is, getting closer and closer to football, but we still got a little bit of time before that. So got a fun video here lined up for you guys. Let's hop right into it. So like I mentioned, rules are pretty simple, man. I'm just going to go ahead and go through the starters and tell you guys overrated, underrated, or properly rated for the player. We'll start with the offense here. We start with the quarterback, man. Caleb Williams, the hot topic of the offseason. He is the guy that is going to make this engine go. Very polarizing player, I might add, across the NFL. So to me, with Caleb, I'm going to go ahead and say that at this point, I have a hot take. I think Caleb is underrated. I see a lot more negativity around Caleb than positivity. So I don't think he's overrated. I don't see a lot of people thinking Caleb's better than he is. You know who I think is overrated? Again, Patriots fans are going to hate me. I think Drake May is overrated. Right? I know he had a decent season, but it was a small sample size, and everybody kept, saying that he was this incredible quarterback, and he still could be. The rookie season was decent, but my point is, look, Drake May is a guy that was a little overrated for me. Caleb, underrated, man, only because, like I said, getting a lot more hate than he should, and the rookie season was rocky, definitely, but tell me any quarterback that would thrive in that situation and come out with better numbers than Caleb with 3,500 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, and 6 picks. You put Drake May, you put Bo Nix, even Jake Daniels in this offense last season with Matt Eberflus and that disastrous coaching staff. Yeah, good luck. So to me, Caleb, I believe, is on the cusp of breaking out. I believe he's going to be a star, but not a lot of people are on board with that, I feel like there's a lot of negativity around Caleb. So I'm going to go ahead and say that Caleb is underrated at this point in his career. A running back, DeAndre Swift. I think people pretty much know what DeAndre Swift is. I think he's properly rated. He might even be a little underrated because people do tend to hate on him, especially Bears fans. I'll say properly rated. Like, we know what Swift is, right? He's a pass-catching running back. Not great in between the tackles. The vision isn't all that, but he's solid, he's serviceable, but you don't want him to be the guy that you give 20, 25 carries a game to. So I think DeAndre Swift, for the most part, is properly rated. Okay, here we go. Wide receiver DJ Moore. I think he's underrated, man. I think DJ Moore is still to this day underrated. You don't see a lot of mention for DJ Moore as far as top 10 receivers in the NFL, top 15, even sometimes top 20, which is ludicrous, ridiculous. Like, I feel like DJ Moore routinely just gets lapped. Even like incoming rookies come in, right? And it's like Malik Neighbors is better, or Brian Thompson is better, like, Lad McConkey, all these guys. Like, I'm like, wait a second, man. Why are we forgetting about DJ Moore? The dude is still so good, so productive, just puts up numbers, plays, he's not hurt. Like, I think DJ is just so underrated, man. And honestly, even when he was in Carolina, it was the same case. So, like, me watching afar from a different team's perspective, I felt like DJ didn't get the credit. Now that he's on my team, I still feel like he doesn't get the credit. Like, his name is never mentioned when we talk about the best receivers in football. Like, I feel like you have to reach to mention his name. And that is just something that I'm not a big fan of. I don't like that is the case. So I think, to me, DJ Moore, underrated. Underrated, severely underrated. All right. Rome Odunze. This one's interesting. Rome didn't have a great rookie season. So you could say, hey, properly rated. Because the other rookies all did better, but they were in better situations. So for right now, I think Rome Odunze is properly rated, and I think he's on the cusp of breaking out. I think he's going to have a fantastic season, and at that point, he could still be underrated. We'll see. But for right now, I'm going to say he's properly rated, okay? Luther Burden, who's going to be our wide receiver 3. This is an interesting one. I don't know what I would do with rookies, but I just, it's tough. Maybe I should just leave it blank with rookies. But Luther Burden is a guy, though, I think a lot of people don't know how good he's going to be as far as Bears fans. and maybe even the NFL in general. So he's somewhere between underrated and properly rated. That's probably what I would put him at. But again, he's a rookie. All right, then we got the tight end spot. Colson Loveland, same thing right here, right? He's a rookie, so hard to say, but maybe underrated, properly rated. Cole Kmet, severely underrated, man. I've seen so much disrespect to Cole Kmet. I know he had a down season last year, but man, he is still such a good tight end. Like, hands are solid as they come, always available, professional, good route runner. Like, Cole Kmet is so underrated, man. The hate is unreal. And again, I'm saying that now. My team literally drafted his replacement, but Cole Kmet is a very underrated player in this league. All right, very underrated. We get to the offensive line now. At the left tackle spot, we'll start with Braxton Jones. To me, I think Braxton Jones is a little overrated, man. I think Braxton Jones is going to get paid probably more than he's worth in the offseason. I think, you know, when you haven't had great offensive line play, anything that's decent looks better than it is. And so that's how I feel about Braxton Jones. I think he's okay. I don't think he's anything special, but sometimes I feel like Bears fans think, hey, we can't function without Braxton Jones at our left tackle spot. You got to bring him back. You got to re-sign him. I think he's replaceable. I think he's a replaceable level talent. So I'm going to say Braxton Jones is a little overrated. All right. Joe Thuney, properly rated, man. I mean, people know how he's a future Hall of Famer, like one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL, and he's going to be huge for us as far as a staple. So I'm going to go ahead and say that he's properly rated. People know how good Joe Thuney is, all right? No doubt about that. Drew Dalman. I think Drew Dalman is underrated. A lot of people don't know about Drew Dalman, one of the best centers in football. I know there was like talk about the free agency class being like weak at the center spot, but I think Drew Dalman is an underrated center for sure. Jonah Jackson, I think he's properly rated. Again, they had a down year with the Rams last season, so I can't really say much else. He was good in Detroit, but he's got to prove himself. So I'll say properly rated. And then Darnell Wright, I think he's still underrated. I feel like Darnell Wright doesn't get the credit that he deserves because he's still a very, very solid player. And, you know, some Bears fans still go back and say, oh, we should have, you know, taken somebody else in that draft. And, you know, there's talk about, did we pass up on Jalen Carter? But I'm like, I'm very happy with Darnell Wright. So to me, Darnell Wright is still underrated. I think he's still underrated. All right, let's move over to the defense now. We got Montez Sweat. I think Sweat, man, he's a little overrated, man. The production just has not been as much as I wanted to be. Hopefully it changes now with more talent around him in a Grady Jarrett, in a Dio Digbo, and even an improved Javon Dexter. But I feel like Sweat, man, for what we paid for him, for what we acquired him for, I think he's a little overrated. I want more production out of him, all right? I feel like he's a little bit more name than production at this point. All right, Grady Jarrett, I think he's underrated, man. I think he's a guy who's always kind of flown under the radar, even when he was in Atlanta, I feel like. He's always productive, just solid as they come. So I'm going to say underrated. Javon Dexter, I think Dexter is also underrated as well. He's got better in his second season. I think he's going to hopefully break out in a big way in his third season. But don't see a lot of talk about Dexter. So I'm going to say underrated for him. Dio Digbo, I'm going to say slightly overrated just based off the money we paid him. Doesn't have the production. I feel like in free agency, you tend to just get overpaid. That's what happens in free agency. But, you know, you can prove me wrong. I'll say a little overrated. Tremaine Edmonds, I think a little overrated for Tremaine Edmonds as well, as far as, you know, kind of what we gave up to get him. Oh, wait, we actually signed him for free agency. My apologies. But I'm going to say the production has been a little disappointing with Tremaine Edmonds. I wanted more from him. So I'm going to say a little overrated for Tremaine Edmonds. TJ Edwards, I'm going to say underrated, man. TJ Edwards has been, you know, as solid as they come for us. So I think he's a guy, you know, you're always going to be happy to have him on your team, and he's productive and he's solid. And so I'm going to say underrated for TJ Edwards. I feel like he doesn't always get the respect he deserves. All right, it's either Noah Sewell at this point or Ruben Hypolite, the rookie we drafted. I'm going to say, hard to say for either of those guys, but as far as the pick for Ruben Hypolite, I didn't like it. I thought it was a reach, so maybe I'll say overrated at this point, but he's a rookie, so hopefully you can prove me wrong. Jalen Johnson, underrated, man. I feel like Jalen still doesn't get the respect he deserves as one of the best corners in football. It's a similar thing to DJ Moore. I feel like he just doesn't get mentioned as much as he should. He definitely gets mentioned, but not as much as he should when it comes to the best cornerbacks in football. Jaquan Brisker, I think he's properly rated. Obviously missed a lot of time last season with the concussions. Bears fans know how good he is when he's healthy, so I think he's properly rated. Okay, Kevin Byard, a little underrated, man. He's been in this league for a long time, and he's a veteran. He's a professional. He's a solid football player as they come. So I'm going to say underrated for him. Tyreek Stevenson, slightly overrated. Obviously, the antics have caught up to him. The production hasn't been there as much. I feel like there was a lot of hope and potential there, and then it kind of fizzled out. So I'll say overrated for Tyreek Stevenson. Hopefully he has a good bounce back season. Kyler Gordon, I'm going to say underrated, man. One of the best nickel cornerbacks in football, and he's still so productive, so good. Got an extension. I think he's underrated. I don't think he gets talked about enough. All right, special teams here. We got Cairo Santos. I think he's underrated, man. I think he's one of the most solid kickers in football. Yeah, does he have the biggest leg? No, but I think he's still very solid at his job. And remember, I know what it feels like to have bad kickers in Chicago, all right? Cairo Santos, I'm very happy with him, so I'm going to say underrated. Torrey Taylor, I think he's properly rated. He's a great punter, but again, he got taken up in the draft. We drafted a punter, so we'll see, but I think he's properly rated, okay? And then as far as the other positions here, I'm not going to go ahead and rate the long snapper here or the punter kick returner. So to me, I think we're good there. So let me know what you guys think. Overrated, underrated, properly rated for all of the Bears starters. Do you agree, disagree? Leave a comment down below with your thoughts as always. Thanks for watching.